Hey, hi, I'm Chris from RVMobileInternet.com, and I want to show off one of the newest and most advanced mobile hotspots on the market. This is a Unite Explore, the AT&T Unite Explore by Netgear, and we've just been reviewing this over the last few months. This is AT&T's newest flagship hotspot. This is actually the highest end mobile hotspot on AT&T's network. Some of what makes it pretty cool and unique is, well, this is the first hotspot we've seen from anybody that is actually designed to be dropped, rained on, abused. It's actually got a rubberized coating. It's I think it's even immersible. So if you put your hotspot through some serious abuse or maybe spill stuff on it, it will survive. The back is actually got a rubberized gasket that seals around the battery. The battery is pretty huge for a hotspot. It's actually rated for 22 hours of use, and its standby, I believe, is over a week. So this is something that can go for a while. Looking at the physical features of it, in the back, here's the battery. It's a 16.49 watt-hour battery. Covers up where the SIM card is. SIM card can slide out like this. You get a little fingernail underneath it, and then push it down the track, and it'll slide right out like that. So SIM card, and then you just line up the SIM card, make sure the notch is lined up like that, and put it back into the track and slide it back in delicately. That's how you change the SIM card out. Battery goes back in like that. Let's line up the tabs. Excuse me. And then the back just presses in, and it makes a waterproof seal. Now, along the bottom, it's actually might be an unusual port for a lot of people. This is a USB 3 micro USB combo port. So for the cable that comes with it, actually has a USB 3 cable that would allow faster data transfer to computers that support it, or a regular micro USB cable, so we can still work with regular charging and everything else. And so you can mix and match the cables as needed. And then the little antenna ports are covered up by little rubber things that slide away. So we love having hotspots that support external antennas. This lets you use an antenna on the roof. This one actually has 2 antenna ports officially supported for MIMO antennas. MIMO means you can have a multiple in, multiple out antenna that actually has 2 antennas inside. The way you hook up to these antennas, you might need a little adapter like this. This is a TS9 to SMA adapter, and it just presses in and makes a relatively secure fit into the antenna port. If you have a MIMO antenna, you would use 2 of these, and then like here's just a single antenna.
And if you're using a single antenna, it's the left port on the device that is the primary.
Yeah, so here's the primary port on this one. Yeah, if you don't have, you'll know you're not using the primary port if your uploads are really slow, because with MIMO, the downloads go through both antennas, but the uploads only go through one. And then that would just screw in together here, and you've now got an antenna up on your roof. And to re-protect the things, you just swing these covers around and put them back in. So that's the external features of this hotspot. It's got Okay, once the Unite Explorer boots up, you've got a really nice home screen. You can have it show either your Wi-Fi name and password at the top, or if you have a setting, it'll hide that so somebody can't look over your shoulder and get your password and get on the network very easily. And then you've got a great display of how much data has currently been used on your device and on your plan. So it shows we've actually used 26% of our plan for the month, at 10.9 gigs out of 42, with 19 days remaining. And if you click on that, you'll actually see how much it's divided between your device and any other devices that are sharing that plan. So it really makes it useful for tracking down the data hogs. This only works if you've got a shared data plan. This actually doesn't display the on-device usage if you're using it with a prepaid GoPhone plan at all. Other things, you notice that it is a touch screen. The touch screen is a lot better than having physical hard buttons, but it does sometimes not respond nearly as well as a cell phone with scrolling and moving things around. Some of the interesting things you've got in the Wi-Fi settings, this is a dual band device. You can set it up to be 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So 5 gigahertz is faster, 2.4 gigahertz is longer range and slower, and you can actually turn on both Wi-Fi networks at once via maybe that's only via turning that on only via the web interface to all of this. You could also set up a guest network if you want to give people temporary access without sharing your password. And set off. This is an important setting for people who are using this as their permanent in an RV. You've got this plugged into power. You want to turn Wi-Fi standby to never, so that this will not fall asleep and if you don't use it for a certain period of time. And then the other setting for RVers, you probably want to change Wi-Fi range to extended. It uses more power, but it will better reach out into the campground, even though in regular mode you'll have plenty of range to cover with inside an RV. So you've got standard and extended range. And if you're only using it for USB tethering, you can actually turn off Wi-Fi entirely. Some of the settings there. On the security front, you have to configure this via the web interface, but it has content filtering that you could turn on via OpenDNS that will let you block porn sites or phishing sites or even, quote, time-wasting sites like Facebook. And then this feature, battery boost, turns on boost mode, which will turn this into a powered USB port that you could then plug other devices like your phone in and or even an iPad to charge off of the big battery that's in here. The downside of this is you have to remember to carry around that special adapter cable to use the boost mode. And you will get any text messages that your carrier happens to send you. And then in the other settings area, you can do software updates. You can turn on whether or not tethering happens, USB tethering. The display setting here, you could turn off the flashy blue LED. So if you're going to have this someplace that's visible at night, you don't want a flashing disco ball effect, you could turn off the LED. That is a really great setting. Adjust the display brightness and how quickly it turns off. And then in the About screen, you can see the network status and actually see your raw signal strength, negative 105 dBm, whether it's 3G or 4G. We're in a very weak signal area here right now. And what band you're connected to. Those would be CDMA bands or LTE bands and stuff. So it's great advanced information to have. And that's basically the stuff you could get on the device that you might ever want to mess with. So to get to the web interface for the AT&T Unite Explore, you go to AT&T Wi-Fi Manager in your browser address bar, or you can go to the IP address 192.168.1.1. And the default password, which you should probably change when you get there, is ATTadmin. Now, one of the really nice things about this hotspot is right on the front page it shows off your data plan, shows how much total data you've got, how much you've used, and actually even shows if you're going to exceed your monthly usage at your current rate of use. And then it's got a nice graph that shows how much your device has used and how much data other devices on your plan has used. And it's really, really quite handy to actually have that detail there. Now, of course, this being a hotspot, one of the most important things is setting up the Wi-Fi network, and this is easier done via the web interface rather than via the on-device touchscreen. You could set passwords and type in names without fumbling around with a on-screen super small keyboard. Now, this hotspot gives you the opportunity to do dual band, so you can do 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which travels further and has got more devices are compatible with it, or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which is less prone to interference, doesn't travel as far, but can be a lot faster. Or you can turn on a dual band Wi-Fi, which will support all those devices at once. We've discovered a few issues, so check our review about using dual band Wi-Fi, but it does work. If you're using just 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz only, you can actually set up a guest network and set actually time limits for guests and not have to share your regular password. One of the things to keep in mind is when you do set up a 2.4 and 5 gigahertz network, you have to set how many devices you want to divide between each. So of the 15, you got to decide 7 or 8, or split up the bands there. And then another important setting for us RV dwellers is we're often stepping away from our hotspot, and we want to have as maximum possible Wi-Fi range as possible. So turning on the Wi-Fi range to extended is key. So that setting is right here. Another interesting thing about this hotspot is it actually has some security settings. In particular, it has content filters that are powered by OpenDNS. So you can sign up for a free account, and then you're given these settings between don't block anything, block just phishing sites, block phishing and pornography, block all adult sites, or block social networks, video sharing, and general time wasters. So if you really want to lock your network down, you could turn on the high content filtering. And well, if you've got certain devices like the parental machines, you can put them on a whitelist and make sure that they're unrestricted. A few other interesting things here in the web interface. So if you go under Settings and About, this is where you can get a look at all the advanced network status. So under network status, right down here you can see the current LTE radio band. So we're connected to AT&T's band 2 right now, and our signal strength is -80 dBm. So that's okay signal, but actually in our performance testing, it's not actually performing very well here at all. So we are in a very fringe area. So signal strength isn't everything. Bars, 2 bars here, not everything. Actually do speed test if you're trying to judge your performance. And I think those are some of the key things in the web interface for this hotspot.